Hello, everyone. For people that don't know me, my name is Anthony Blake, and I'm here at Family Tech to give you tips. What brought you guys here was the laptop tip that I have for today. Sorry for being scruffy. Sorry for not having a haircut. Not kind of what we're here for today. But anyways, this is the star of the show. Right here, this laptop here is the star of the show. It is the star of the show. This, as a lot of guys may know, is the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon 6th Gen specifically. This machine is really good for people that want to go back to school or looking to go into school and looking for something on a budget. This is definitely a go-to 6th Gen. You can buy this. I bought mine at eBay for a pretty good price. Right around $325 is what I bought it for. I see them go as high as $450, $500, but I don't think you need to spend that. eBay has a really good program called Certified Refurbished, and if you guys are, want peace of mind, something that's going to work, that if it doesn't work, you can potentially get a warranty on, definitely go that route. But for some of the guys that are really techie, they'll fix their own stuff. You don't have to do certified refurbished. You should be able to go from there. So the biggest thing with this laptop, and I tell people too, it's a Gen 6 is what I have, which is pretty reasonable. You can also go Gen 7, Gen 8. I wouldn't go any lower than Gen 6. Just because of some compatibility issues when you go down to Gen 5. So, as I said before, Gen 6. The rig that I have, the laptop that I have, has the soldered on 16 gigabit of memory, which is plenty for me. The processor is an Intel 8th Gen V Pro i7, specifically the 8650U, which is pretty good, especially at the time that this came out. Storage that it came with was a 256 gig NVMe memory chip or storage chip, and I actually upgraded to an 512 gigabyte NVMe Intel chip. Reason why I did the Intel chip, because it was far cheaper than the competitors. Even though it's a little slower, I don't notice it, but it still performs really, really well. The camera is an HD camera with the built-in camera anyways, with 720p, which is okay. On today's standard, everything is 1080p or 4K or 8K in some instance, but this will do the trick. Battery life says about 15 hours. I bought a new battery and I kind of tested that out for myself. I got roughly about 12 and a half hours, which isn't bad. The biggest thing about this getting 15 hours, I would imagine that they had to have their display settings on very low to get 15 hours. I don't see, they have like 4 different screens. So the screen that I have actually is the 14-inch FHD, I can't speak, IPS touch. It's 1920 by 1080. It's anti-glare, which is nice. And it's, like I said, it's touch, so you can touch the screen. So with this specific model, they actually have a HDR, WQHD high def version. Also too, in that same realm, the HDR, WQHD, they also have a high def version that's anti-glare. The first one that I listed, which is the glossy, it's good. I had that on a precision that I loved a lot, but kind of hate the glossiness. It was also touch and it was high def, but the glossy sometimes, depending on what time of the day you're using it, can get a bit annoying. So I love the anti-glare kind of screens that Lenovo has on theirs. Also too, there's a kind of like mine, the FHD IPS 1920 by 1080 anti-glare, but this one is without touch. So you have those options with screens. Obviously, the one that I listed last with the FHD IPS 1920 by 1080 anti-glare is probably going to be the cheapest. Probably going to run you the cheapest. I like to touch. Although I don't use it that much, my wife uses it a lot more than I do. It's just that the fingerprinting for me is not something that I particularly like, but having an option there, I guess, is good, especially some days where you get a little bit lazy and I don't feel like hitting the page down button. Has Bluetooth, which a lot of these newer gen has. And let me go over some of the cons. So the cons is the screen is about 14 inches, which not everybody likes, a smaller screen, but it is a compact laptop. Fingerprint magnet, as a lot of people know with ThinkPads, fingerprint magnets, kind of what they are, especially with the black matte finish, they always tend to do that. And God forbid you eat something, say for instance, something that has grease on it, and then you go ahead and touch it, yeah, you're gonna have fingerprints. I think the biggest thing to do that, to kind of alleviate that, if you put some sort of skin on top of it, or what I do from time to time, I have a magic eraser that I use on these. It actually works really well, especially if you have minor scuffs and scratches. If you use the magic eraser with a little bit of water, it does an amazing job actually cleaning that up. So, next con that I have is there's no DVD disc or compact disc drive, CD drive. You definitely get to buy something that's external, but with this being such a small platform or small form factor, there's no way to really jam that in there, especially with it being so thin. For people that are old school, definitely gonna have to get that external DVD drive or CD drive if that's what you want to do. Next con, which is the last one that it lacks some ports. There's only two USB-A ports. They're fast ports, but there's only two of them, which, depending on how many peripherals you're gonna attach to it, may be a deal breaker. But if you're using it for school, I would imagine, depending on what program you're in, you won't need a ton of those. If you need a ton of those, they make USB, USB kind of adapters for that, where you have multiple, so you don't even have to be stuck with USB-A. You can start doing USB-C. So the next thing that I have to talk about are the pros. So one of the pros is how lightweight it is. This is a very lightweight laptop. It is lightweight. For, I guess, women that have big purses, this is small and it fits right in, and it doesn't weigh down a purse too much. It's not that bad. It's really light. Typically, sometimes when I was doing homework, I would, while I was at WGU, I would actually carry my son up to his room and carry this thing in the other hand, and had no issues with it at all, being, thinking that it's gonna fall or I was gonna wreck it. But, I guess in that point, it was just so light for me, it didn't matter. The next one is the battery life is pretty good. Like I said before, I get about 12 and a half hours roughly on brand new battery that I bought, which I think is pretty dang on good. I was able to go to coffee shops and do what I need to do without having to be stuck to an outlet. One thing that it has that I like too as a pro is USB-C charging, which this one is capable of. Also capable of, if you want to attach a Thunderbolt dock to it, you can do that as well. It has two USB ports, which you can use either or for charging, or you can charge a phone or something like that. Out of the other one, built-in Windows 10 Pro key is a pro. Reason why this is a pro is because when you buy this laptop, more than likely these laptops actually were business grade, like enterprise grade laptops. So a lot of these laptops actually have Windows 10 Pro keys built right into them. It's actually built right into the BIOS. So what that means for you is that you don't have to buy an operating system to go with this. You can buy a blank one without a hard drive, which will make it cheaper, or you can just buy it without operating system, which also can make it cheaper. Obviously, you would have to go to somebody that if you don't know how to install an operating system, to install it for you. But the biggest thing is that you don't have to buy the operating system. The key is built in which allows you to use that operating system legitly. And another key is that because it has that key, it's upgradable to Windows 11, excuse me, Windows 11. And Windows 11 is compatible with this machine mainly because it has the 8th gen i7. So what that does for you, well, what that means is that The internal security pieces, which is like the TPM chip, is fully compatible with Windows 11, and that's usually the hang up with Windows 11. Has to be able to be compatible with the TPM chip, which is nowadays is kind of a higher security chip that allows little cool features to make business laptops and enterprise laptops a little more secure from being vulnerable to hacking. And yeah, the last thing I was talking about is this thing. My experience with it has been nothing short of great. One of the things that I did with it, I bought it roughly a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, and it was still 325. Mine has kind of some bumps and some minor scratches here and there, but like I said before, when I used the magic eraser, I was able to get a lot of it off of there. Um, and I went to WGU after graduating from UW Green Bay to get my master's, to get my MBA in IT management. And I used that throughout the whole program at WGU. Had no issues with any applications that needed to be installed. It worked fine, flawlessly, never blue screened on me. Always really, really reliable. Had no issues. And my WGU experience was partly great because of this machine. This machine allowed me to make sure that once I turn it on, I was able to work. And then also too, I didn't have to be attached to an outlet 24/7. I charge it up for the night, and if I had an exam to do, which a lot of the exams there are proctored exams, I was able to go right through the proctored exam without connecting it to power, which was awesome, and able to get through the exam, which, like I said, was great. My experience at WGU was a great experience, but this was partly why it was such a success for me. And in another video, I'll talk about my experience with WGU and the MBA program, which I think is fantastic, which is awesome. I think for anybody looking to move to the next level, especially in IT, which is management, MBA is a great option, especially from WGU, because you can use some of the experience that you have to be able to kind of get through some of the classes, because you're a professional, you've been in the corporate world for quite some time, and in IT for quite some time. Some of these concepts are really refreshers, and you're able to kind of get through the material a lot quicker. But that's for a different video. So thanks a lot. If you guys have any comments, please, in the comment section, throw your comments down there. I'll read them. I'll try and get back to you as fast as I can. But if there's something I'm missing, go ahead, comment away. Also, like I said before, you don't have to stick with the Gen 6. You go Gen 7, Gen 8. If your budget allows you to go a little bit higher, definitely go with the newer gens, Gen 9, if you want to. But these are typically, when they came out, are very, very expensive machines. I want to say the MSRP, I can't even tell you what the MSRP on this guy is, but it's very expensive, more expensive than some of the other lineup within the ThinkPad fleet. But very, very, very sexy looking laptop, very light and very capable of doing just about anything, with the exception of gaming. Gaming, I would say, you want to, tread lightly with the gaming, or do some light gaming. It'll work for you. But any heavy gaming with the need for higher graphics, definitely gonna force you to basically use something else. But if you're just using schoolwork, you're trying to get some things done, you got some applications you install, this is a great option. Once again, thanks a lot for watching my video. Comment, subscribe, and you know the deal. So all right, until next time, see you guys later.